Teresa Tomeo, and we're going to get a little shot of vitamin T this morning. And Teresa, I want to jump right into this because I want you to spend some time with us from your unique position in the media, having spent so many years in secular media and now in Catholic media. Obviously, the story continues of Charlie Kirk, but I also kind of want to have you speak to us from the media perspective, how they're covering the story and some of the things that may have been uncovered because of this story regarding today's media.
Well, that's a great thing to talk about, and I'm really praying and preparing for our segment since we were contacting each other yesterday via WhatsApp and kind of discussing what we were going to be talking about. And if anyone out there has thought that the secular media have not lost their professionalism or their ethics for the most part, if they're watching all of these different ways, some of the media are expressing themselves, even on their personal Facebook and Instagram accounts and whatnot. And if they still think there's ethics in the media, then I have something to say to them. I don't know what you're smoking or drinking, but I want some of it, because for the most part, they have lost their soul. And they have sold themselves out for advocacy and activism, and it has been so prevalent. Now, what's interesting, there have been a number of so-called, and I'm doing the air quotes here over in my little house here in Italy, professionals, right, that have been fired, so-called journalists that have been fired, starting with the commentator on MSNBC. There was a Washington Post columnist that was let go. There was a reporter down in Florida that was suspended, all because of the way they acted or reacted to the shooting of Charlie Kirk, or the way they treated people when they were doing interviews. A reporter down in Florida actually contacted a pro-Second Amendment congressman in his home state right after Charlie was shot, even before they got the final word that he had died of his gunshot wound. And he was asking this gunman if he texted him saying, do you still feel the same about gun control? And the congressman responded, I cannot believe I'm just hearing about the shooting, and this is how you're responding, and you're not even letting this man, letting us, deal with this news. So there's a number of incidents that have happened. But here's the thing. In my very first book, Noise, that was published way back in 2007, I said there are two very big agendas in the secular media, and I think they're equal. But right now, I think the bigger one that's playing out is money. Because I think the powers that be realize that there has been a change in terms of, under the new administration, how things are going, how more and more people are saying basta with these leftist extremists who have been attacking us for, well over 10 years, everything that we went through in COVID for barely raising a question about a vaccine or raising concerns, parents going to meetings and getting thrown out because they were being arrested, called domestic terrorists, and on and on and on. And so the powers that be are saying, we've had lawsuits, we're losing listenership, we're losing followers, we're losing viewers, and so we better, stand up and say, we're behind our audiences. So I'm not sure if this is a paradigm shift at this point. I don't think so. I think it's financial. But I think we do have to keep the pressure on the media to say, look, we want you to realize that there's more than one side to a story. And if you're going to fire someone, why are you doing this? Are you doing this only for the bottom line, or are you doing this for ethics and principle and your mission as a media outlet? That's, I think, a big issue right now.
Boy, Teresa, this is so true. What is it because I'm just asking this because this sticks in my head all the time. Is it because now our journalists are all trained kind of in our universities where these ideologies are taught so heavily, and so therefore they never really learn how to just present the facts and truth and let people think these things through for themselves?
That's very true, and that's what's happening. So I can remember I graduated, I've been out of college a long time. I graduated from Central Michigan University in 1981 with a journalism degree and a minor in broadcasting and cinematic arts. And I think of my one professor that I had in my first Journalism 101 class. He would be rolling in his grave to see what the media are doing now and how they are really just giving their own opinion and their own thoughts on issues when they're covering stories versus just covering a story and giving us the facts and letting the people decide. There is a story that broke this morning, I don't know if you guys saw it yet, from the New York Post, that there's a teacher in Canada who was suspended, and he showed the actual video that was circulating after Charlie was shot, that horrible video that showed him getting shot in the neck and the blood coming out that many people saw. He showed that video to his students, his fifth grade students.
Oh my God!
But wait, that's not it. This New York Post has this story on I think it's still on their homepage. He showed the video, and then he did an indoctrination and lectured them on why he needed to be killed.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
The
Oh,
kids went home
my.
and told their parents they were traumatized by the video, and of course the teacher was suspended. He hasn't been fired yet, but he's been suspended. Now, getting to your point, Pat, of the indoctrination is starting not just in the journalism schools and in college,
Yep.
but it's starting
Yep.
so much earlier. So by the time these future so-called journalists get to college, their mindset is already formed, and so they're believing that they have to go and then they have to be advocates for these various leftist causes. It's very frightening. Now, I do think people are beginning to wake up. I do think, no pun intended, that there is a turning point, a movement going on. I don't know if you saw the story in Catholic News Agency this morning, where they were saying that more and more young people at the colleges across the country are going back to Mass.
Yeah.
So there's
We
something
talked
going
about
on here. Turning Point USA received thousands of requests for information to start new chapters. And at the media level, we are seeing managers at least noticing that there is a movement. And for the country, I think there's a paradigm shift where people are waking up and saying, we're done. We're gonna respond peacefully, but we are going to stand up for what we believe. So I hope and pray the media really get back to the roots and really do some soul searching. I'm not holding my breath, but say, what are we doing? Whatever happened to Journalism 101? Who, what, where, when, why, and how? What happened?
Yeah.
What happened to labeling opinion as opinion on the op-ed page? And where did that go? So that's my prayer. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but with God, all things are possible.
I want to
Who knows?
keep you and Pat on the same conversation here, and just looking at the root cause, which you've already talked about a little bit. But the colleges, do either of you, Pat and Teresa, do we see a shift happening there now that people are being held a little more accountable?
I don't think so yet. I mean,
I
it
don't
could
either.
happen. What do you think, Pat?
No, I agree with you. I think, I think maybe people will be quieter, but I don't think hearts have been changed yet. I
Right.
mean, these are very strong ideologies. And the thing is, this is the big issue. To me, anyway, I could be totally wrong, but I think it is because it is what Isaiah says. People see good as evil and evil as good.
As good. Mhm.
All these people, and I hate to say these people, but people that have these ideologies that turn violent, they really believe they're doing good. I mean, that, I think that's what the shooter thought. The shooter thought he was doing good. I'm ridding the world of this hating person, And so we really have to get back to what is good.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
and we're not addressing that. It's just one opinion over another, one opinion over another. And unless you have an objective good, an objective God, we will always argue about what is good and what is evil.
Well, that's why what we do every day, I believe, in Catholic media is so important, because we have to change hearts. Just like they tell people with the abortion issue. Yes, we need the laws, and we're
Yes.
grateful that Roe v. Wade was overturned, and that many people are coming forward as pro-lifers now, since Roe v. Wade and since all of the different elections that we've had. Thanks be to God. But if we don't change the hearts, this is not going to be permanent. So this is where we're at. I totally agree with you, Pat. But yeah. So let's pray for the media. Let's pray for all of us in Catholic media in particular to continue to do what we do. every
And
day.
we're praying for you too, Teresa. You're such a valuable instrument for all of us right now,
Thank
having
you.
that experience on both sides of things and having a heart for the Lord, most especially. So thank you for being
Thanks,
willing
guys.
to come and talk to our audience every Tuesday and give us that shot of vitamin T. I like it like that.
Anytime.
Bye, Teresa.
Ciao,
Bye-bye.
ciao.